Hi everyone! What's up mga ka-LDR? This is Eliza and I'm so happy to be back with another video. To those who are watching us for the first time today, let me introduce ourselves. We are Benny and Eliza, and we are a Korean-Filipino couple. Right now, I'm here in the Philippines and Benny is in Korea. And of course, we cannot travel and be together because of the pandemic and the lockdowns. It was around mid-2019 when he had to go back to Korea. And then a few months after that, he was still able to come and visit the Philippines 2 times. So the last time we met was in December 2019, before the pandemic started and before the country's lockdown. And just like in every usual situation, the beginning is always difficult. So when he told me that he had to go back to Korea and leave me here in the Philippines, I was so brokenhearted. But it was not only me, he also cried when he broke the news that he had to leave the Philippines. Of course, I was the first one who cried and had a lot of negative thoughts. He was very reassuring. He was more confident than how I expected him to be. I had a lot of questions like, will it work? It will be tough. What's going to happen to us? But he assured me that it's going to be alright. I am the type of person who usually thinks negatively when it comes to difficult things. So I was really sad, I was brokenhearted, I was so confused when he broke the news to me. That time for me was actually sadder and more difficult because we didn't know the exact date when he's going to leave the Philippines. He has to sort out some visa stuff because he used to work for a company here, so he has all those documents that he needs to get and sort out. We didn't know when everything would get settled. He hasn't booked his flight yet, and we didn't know when it's going to be our last day together. So we just tried to make out of the most of our remaining time together. You know, that time will come, but you don't know when it's going to be. So it's really tough to prepare yourself to part ways. And then a few days later, he got a message saying that all the visa stuff, the process is over, so he can leave anytime. My mind went blank. So I asked him, when are you planning to leave? And he said he will still see. So he checked the flights and then booked a flight. A few days later, probably a week later, he found out that he can already leave the Philippines. On the night of his flight, I took him to the airport and we said goodbye to each other. We spent around 2 hours together waiting before he could check in. I didn't know what to feel. I had nothing in my mind that time. I just wanted to spend the last few hours with him. And I didn't cry. I didn't cry at the airport. I didn't cry when I sent him off. But it all sank into me when I was on my way back home. There are so many things that are running into my mind. Like, how will things be once I get back home? For 1 year, I got so used to being with him, having him by my side. I got used to us doing things together, going to places together, making decisions together. I had to be alone again. That was the toughest stage of being in an LDR, the beginning. After we have both adjusted to this kind of setup, the pandemic started. There are now a lot of news talking about the spread of the virus all over China, and then in other countries, a lot of people are getting sick. So many people are dying. And then there was this news in Korea wherein the cases every day was like over 1,000. That time, the pandemic has just started. So those numbers are very alarming. I was really worried. I always reminded him to take precautions, always wear the mask, wash his hands, try to distance himself from other people, and all those kinds of worries were in my mind. But that time I thought it's not going to last that long. I thought it's gonna be over soon. Maybe it's gonna be over by year 2021. I even booked a ticket to Korea for March 2021. I was planning to spend my birthday in Korea. So at this time that I'm filming this, it's already August 2021. And then few months before my flight, of course, the flight got canceled. There's no way I'm going to Korea. There's no way we're going to meet each other. When we started this LDR, we both agreed that we can meet every 3 months, every 3 to 6 months. It's either Benny visits the Philippines or I go to Korea to visit and spend time with him. We both agreed to do that. But you know, right now, we cannot do it. We had a solid plan before. We had a solid plan at the start of this setup, but because of the pandemic, it's just very tough to make long-term plans. And even countries are not accepting tourists anymore. Even fully vaccinated tourists. Well, that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to get my vaccine right away, because countries might start accepting travelers who are fully vaccinated. But you know, these days, even though a lot of people have been vaccinated, the virus keeps mutating and just keeps getting stronger. The number of cases still increase every day. Countries who started going back to normal are starting to get new cases again. So, see, it's very tough. It's not that easy to make plans for the next month. Actually, even just for the next 2 weeks. It's very difficult to move. You have no choice at all. But despite those uncertainties due to the pandemic, what's more important is your assurance in your relationship. You may not be able to see each other soon or not spend time with each other right now, but if both of you know that someday you'd finally be able to do so, then that's already a big strength in keeping your long-distance relationship at this time. Well, that is actually one more struggle that a lot of long-distance couples go through. Some people in an LDR feel insecure and have no assurance in their relationship. You know, because we cannot meet each other really soon, we cannot be together soon, we cannot talk to each other anytime. We all get these kinds of thoughts and feelings about our partners. There are the feelings of jealousy, anxiety, insecurities, anger, and so on. Those thoughts and feelings are not really good for a long-distance relationship, for long-distance couples. So we need to be aware of the importance of controlling what you think and what you feel, or otherwise, those can destroy our relationship. But it's not an easy process. It's actually a long process of learning how to control every feeling and every thought. But sometimes we feel and think about those things not just because of us. It's not only because we're overthinking about our relationship or about the future, but other people's opinion also affect us. You know, there are some insensitive people who give unsolicited advice or opinions about your relationship. Some say, I don't think it's going to work because of the pandemic. Countries are on lockdown, you cannot travel, so you cannot see each other. Maybe your boyfriend or your girlfriend is already meeting or dating someone from the same country or from the same city. Don't let that affect you. They don't know what's going on. They have no idea what you're going through, the efforts that you put on your relationship to make it work. Good thing there aren't a lot of people like that around me. My friends, well, I consider them as my real friends, don't give such comments. Even my family members, although there are some relatives who will ask, so what's your plan? When are you getting married? When am I getting married during this pandemic while I am in a long distance relationship? It's better if you surround yourself with people who cheer for you, who encourage you to stay strong, who influence you to think positively. Being able to have a peace of mind, having a healthy mental state will also help you survive this kind of relationship. I have one more struggle of being in a long distance relationship. It's when I see other couples spending time with each other. When I go on social media and browse through my news feed, I see my friends with their husband or with their wife, with their boyfriend, with their girlfriend, having a romantic dinner at home. Oh, of course, because we cannot go out and dine in. But having those little special moments together is something I cannot do right now. I want to do a lot of things. I want to go to a lot of places with Benny, but the pandemic is stopping us to do so. I know it's not a good thing to be envious of what other people have or what other people do, but I just can't help it. So as much as possible, I don't want to browse my social media, but it can't be helped because my job is a social media manager, so I have to be updated with what's going on social media. So I have no choice but to see all of those things. But apart from being sad that I couldn't do it, I also look forward to the day that we can finally do it together. We can finally travel together again. These days I have sort of like a mantra. Is that a mantra? But yes, I think so. It helps me think better and avoid having negative thoughts. For every when, there's always a finally. So right now, you may be asking, when can we meet again? When can we go on a date? When can we travel together? When can we be together? But maybe a few months from now, it could be years from now, or we don't know. We will be able to say, finally we can be together. Finally we are together. Finally we are traveling together. So it's going to finally become we, not just I, or not just him, not just her anymore. Right now we have to hang in there. We might not be able to celebrate special days, celebrate victories, or create happy memories together for now, but we just have to hang in there. It's all gonna be worth it in the end. Do you agree with me? I believe that you can do it. To you who is watching this right now, I know you are very strong. Being in an LDR is not for everyone. It's not for the weak. Now that you have more time to focus on yourself and do the things that you want, what are the things that you usually do to keep yourselves occupied? How do you cope up with the struggles of being in an LDR in this time of pandemic? Well, I work a lot. I've been working a lot for the past 2 years. I think I have a lot on my plate, but I make sure I can do everything and I don't get sick or I don't get too burned out with all the work that I have. It's also one way to save money. We work to earn money, right? If you want to share your struggles, or if you have other questions too about being in an LDR, please let me know. I'd love to answer them if I can. And I'm sure I will also learn from your experiences, especially those who have been in a long distance relationship much longer than me. There are those experts, there are the veterans. I admire you all for being so strong. It's undeniable that it's really tough to be in a long distance relationship. But if someone asks me if I would do it again, I would. It's really worth it, and in every stage, in every step of our long distance relationship, I have learned a lot. It's never always easy, but always worth it. Well, those are the hardest things that I am experiencing in this long distance relationship while in a pandemic. I hope somehow you were able to learn an advice from the things that I've talked about today, and thank you so much for watching today's video. I and Benny really appreciate that you watch our videos, you leave comments, you like our videos, and also for being with us in our LDR journey. I hope things will be better really soon, but for now, everyone, please stay healthy, please stay safe, don't go out unless it's essential, always wear masks, observe physical distancing, and always wash your hands. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. If you did, we'd really love that. And again, I'll share my mantra for being in an LDR. In every when, there's always finally. Cheers to all the LDR couples out there.